what we're going to do at 50%. It was Steve Miller and friends. And I was like, and everybody was dropping out on Steve. And I was like, I'm already at a high-risk situation working at the hotel. So, I'm putting 8 feet between me and somebody now. That's fine. I won't congratulate them afterwards, or I'll make sure they don't like me and want to shake my hand. That's fine. Right. But yeah, and then the day of, all the shit came out about, no alcohol sold, food restaurants have to close, only do to go, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, so this is over, right? Like, we're not doing the show now, right? This is, and it's the right thing to do, is not do the show. I'm being dumb doing the show. And I'm real dumb, because my husband has cancer. I should not be trying. He's like, oh, God. He's like, I survived cancer. Are you trying to kill me with COVID? I'm like, I am. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm making dumb decisions for the both of us.
You're like, honey, I love you. However...
by the way, I hit record when you started telling that story, so we can just start from here, or we can cut it and... so how about this? That's what we're called.
So how about this?
We are broadcasting from the future today.
Right.
Normally we bank our episodes and release them later, but there's only one topic anyone's going to be talking about today on March 22nd.
Right.
So
2020.
The next episode that we are supposed to release is 16. We have enough for episode 20. So when this one comes out, I'm going to release it either today or tomorrow. It will be episode 21 when it comes out.
Right. That's amazing.
So what you'll see on our website, on Podbean or wherever you get us, you'll see episode 15, episode 21, and then episode 16, 17, 18, 19. That's the only way to do this. There's absolutely no reason not to release this immediately, because what the fuck else is anyone going to be talking about?
Yeah, I mean, so how
what's the deal with shoelaces, right, guys?
I mean, so how about this? The apocalypse.
Yeah. I've already decided. I don't know. You would have no way of knowing this. Oh, by the way, who are you?
Oh, hi. I'm Jeff Klein.
I'm Allan Dempsey.
And I'm Rafiq Shaheen.
So, Rafiq, I think, knows this about me. Jeff, you would have no way of knowing this. But when the people who died of COVID pop back up and start getting all bitey, that's when I go full bullet in the head, no questions. I'm not even waiting to see what happens.
I assumed that about you. I wouldn't say I knew it, but I definitely assumed.
I don't want
anti-zombie. I assumed that the whole time.
No fucking part of that whatsoever. No interest in that shit.
Yeah, like, I'm just checking out early.
Yeah,
right?
dude,
like, you
the
guys...
minute a drooly guy is banging on this see you later, boys.
Right.
I'm gonna call everyone, tell them I love them, and I'm out. Right. It's over.
On a side note, I've been there before because, and this is a very insensitive story, so you're welcome. We had a dog pass away, standard poodle, big dog, pass away many, many years ago. Great dog. Died in my husband's arms. Very sad. Mm-hmm. I told you, insensitive story. As I'm still at work, not leaving work to console him because I'm a good person, I tell him, I was like, listen, when I get home, we'll dig a grave, we'll take care of it, it's fine. And then he was like, yes, I'm pretty sure she died. Because sometimes poodles just have seizures. And I was like, I don't know how to put this nicely, honey, but I'm going to need you to make sure she's dead. Because last thing I want to do is bury a dog after I get off work and then wake up in the morning and that dog's at the door. I don't do zombie dogs. Like, that's going to be a problem for me.
Okay, so...
it's really good in a relationship to know your boundaries.
And then it's that weird thing. How do you make sure... And I was like, there's no way, and I hate that I got this from South Park. I was like, there's no way, but, I mean, South Park taught us when somebody dies, they excavate their bowels. And he was like, oh, yeah, she's dead. And I was like, well, A, now I'm sad for you because you got to clean the kitchen floor. And B,
that's a really bum.
There's no good.
When your dog shits on the floor, it's never, fun to clean. But that's, the worst cleaning up dog shit off the floor.
Although, silver lining, the last time you'll have to do it for
well,
the dog. I mean, silver lining.
Until your replacement dog shows up.
Right. If you think... Okay, let's put this in order since we're talking about dead dogs right now. Right? Conceptually, which is worse? Dead zombie dog or dead ghost dog? Because my
wait, back up. I'm a little confused.
Well, there's no such thing as an alive ghost dog.
Yeah, that's what fucked me up. It was because zombie dog, we assume it's dead.
Right.
Ghost dog, we assume it's dead. And
Right.
I ain't talking about the way of the samurai.
Oh.
Did you guys hear my bow tie spin?
Yeah, I could hear that. Just a little bit. Don't spin it too fast or it'll take off. Okay, because my mom and my sister swear they were being haunted by the ghost of Mika, my sister
You
Kumba's
told
dead
me about
dog.
this.
All right.
So I don't know which would be worse, right? Because zombie dog, you're like, oh, it's a physical entity. Like, you can do something about
That's where I'm
this.
at. You can kick a zombie dog. You
Right.
can't kick ghost dog.
Right, ghost dog just sort of hangs around.
You're gonna pull a hammy.
I
It's
got
not
a
gonna be
lot
good.
of questions. Okay, so is zombie dog biting people and turning people into zombies, or does zombie dog only bite other dogs to turn those dogs into zombies?
So what, it's a zombie apocalypse localized for dogs.
Poor dogs. Well,
Species-specific apocalypse.
how many times in a Romero movie do the zombies go after dogs?
That's
They
very
only
true.
go after people.
And to be fair, the World Health Organization has cleared that all dogs cannot get COVID.
Right.
So it is species-specific zombieism.
The
right
dogs
now, right?
will inherit the earth.
We know that all dogs go to heaven.
Right.
Yes. Other than tormented,
Right.
ripped, and still have
I-
unfinished business ghost
I,
dogs.
so when she told me, I was so confused because again, like immediately the comedian in me was like, "All dogs go to heaven." So what the fuck did Mika do? Like that got her trapped here, right? And then on the other half, I was like, "Well, what if that's not true? What if all dogs don't go to heaven? Right? Do only baptized dogs go to heaven?" Like,
So I like how there's definitely a lie in there. Either all dogs don't go to heaven, or Mika wasn't really a dog
Right.
this whole time.
Even in the context of that movie, now it's been a while, but isn't the whole point of the film like there's an evil dog that's trying to like drag them into dog hell at some point?
yeah.
So
Probably
you
a cat.
lied to me on my way into the theater. That's not what this movie's about.
To be fair, that dog was stuck on Earth for a while.
I mean, that's true. Just sort
So-
of hanging out.
All right.
So, it's a leap when someone says the ghost of my whatever, granddad, cousin, whoever. That's already, I'm like, oh, did they? Okay. But then it's like your fucking dog came back. I'm sure somebody in the family died you could attribute all those
Oh
things
yeah,
to.
my brother died.
There you go.
That was the third thing that came up because they're like, "Oh, the ghost of Mika's hanging around." I was like, "Really? She's hanging around? Not your dead son, but the dog."
He just wants to go out. He doesn't know how to get into the yard.
Now, it took Patrick Swayze a long time to learn how to walk through doors, and it freaked him out the first time.
It's true.
And that's somebody
is
who can
very
cognitively
true.
think. Imagine a dog.
Great.
Yeah.
So
He's got to run into a gruff dog on the subway to teach him how to do things and get into a fight. I mean, there's a lot. Can dogs do pottery?
Get away from my
Yeah.
fire hydrant.
So you're telling me the ghost of my brother just hang out lost in an African jungle somewhere? They're like, "Where the fuck is he?"
I'm really trying to haunt people here.
Right? It's like I don't even know where they went, dude. Like I was here one moment and then they were gone. Like
Now, with the apocalypse coming, I have a question.
Yes.
I haven't checked my calendar recently. Did anybody get a calendar invite for when the Purge actually starts?
oh yeah, I saw that.
Because
Well, now Purge, that was a different thing.
I've already started killing people for toiletries. I was wondering, am I early? Am I pre-purge?
I think you've got your Purge and your Mad Max mixed up.
Where do we
Right.
stick? I
Because
feel like
Purge
that's a
is
slippery
government.
slope.
Purge is government mandated. Go fucking bananas for one night.
Right.
Right.
And that was because they felt if people get violence out of their systems, they won't be violent.
Right.
Mad Max is things just started going to shit.
Fair.
And got worse and worse and worse.
Do we have a Hunger Games for toilet paper yet? Where are we at on that one?
I
Now
feel
that's a more likely.
No, that's fair.
Because we could definitely broadcast the Hunger Games on YouTube.
Right.
So we've got the technology and and we're definitely blood hungry enough to watch that shit.
that.
We have all the reasons then.
We
Yeah.
have
Blood hungry and technology. What more do we need? All
Yeah,
right.
well-
So
More media.
there's a fucked up comic book that I've been reading called Dead Tube, where the whole premise is basically so like a bunch of serial killers create their own version of YouTube, And basically, it's like they're competing to see who gets the most views on their video.
Great.
That's amazing.
So,
have you heard the poor work situation of the people at YouTube, the high suicide rates and so on of the screeners?
oh my goodness! For a second, I thought you were just talking about right now.
No, there are not right now, not with COVID. Just before the apocalypse, people wanted to kill themselves. Because there's a screeners. There's just rooms full of screeners for YouTube to make sure inappropriate content does not make it on.
Okay.
So imagine what makes it on. Imagine what people try to get on there. And then these people have to watch all of them.
Right.
And they watch the Don't Fuck With Cats guy killing cats. They watch all of these videos day in, day out, day in, snuff film, day out, cat snuff film, ghost dogs, all of it.
Yeah.
And to a point that,
I like how you said snuff film and then cat snuff film.
species specific.
Right. We're gonna have to flag this. No cat.
You're so specious.
Right.
Murder is murder.
No cat's gonna want to watch this video.
If nobody else was masturbating during Don't Fuck With Cats, I don't know what my problem is. All right, it was a snuff film. That's why I was hard. Is that right? That got weird. Right, that's where we got there.
No,
But yeah, so this is an actual job people have, and like the lifespan of the job, like you can't do it for more than like 6 months or something like that, because it's just you're being hammered with the worst of the internet.
Is that like within the contract? You are?
No, it's not. It's just people burn out on it
so
fast, which I can't even imagine. Like, here's the worst of the internet, and it's your job to watch all of it.
I mean, do you have to sit and watch the whole video as soon as the knife, as soon as the knife comes out? Can't you go like, I think we're good. I don't need to.
Yeah.
You should be able to penis, no. Knife, no. Penis, no. Why so many penises? Penis, knife, no. What?
It's my Swiss Army penis.
Whoa.
Just because it looks like a corkscrew does not make it a Swiss Army penis.
It's very duck-like.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't want to go Mad Max. I'll tell you what though, guys. I'm gonna do something that I was thinking about doing on stage right now.
Right. Okay.
So I was actually gonna try to say it as if it was like a conversation, then I realized that was shitty. This is okay. I haven't been on stage in years. Ran into Maloney and she was like, "I'm doing a show in May. You got a spot."
Nice.
And then right after that, I got my heart broken. So I was like, well, it's time. And then right after that, the zombie apocalypse happened. So I won't be doing comedy again for a while.
Right.
So this was the joke that I came up with today. It was like, it's really, really comforting to get all of these emails from all these corporations. Because I can't tell you how many times I've lied awake at night thinking, oh God, is Advanced Auto Parts going to be there for me in my time of crisis?
That's fair. Does Subaru care? Right. They do. Okay. And I know that because of the email that I did.
But you know who doesn't care? Kmart, and that's why they're going out of fucking business.
My tag was going to be, fuck, I already forgot it. Oh. I was going to rely on family and friends, but I think I'm going to turn to Zales Jewelers for my comfort.
They reached out more than your family has, so really.
I can really talk to Bob. He's a great salesman. So here's a question, since we're talking about apocalypses. What apocalypse would you be comfortable living in?
Well, I don't know that I'd be comfortable.
Yeah, but the comfort level,
right? Obviously.
Wait, are we the Lord in the apocalypse? You could get to a comfort level.
Am I the guy in the hockey mask with the little CB radio? Because that guy's doing all right.
There is comfort, I guess, in an apocalypse, but you got to really cross some bounds to get there.
Here's where. So I always have to be concerned about my long-term chronic illnesses.
Right.
How am I getting insulin? How am I getting UC medicine?
Again, we in this scenario, right? We're just going to assume that Allan is surviving.
Okay.
However you want to be Demongo, Lord of the Roads, that's Allan.
I think I am terrified of Mad Max. I don't want any Mad Max in my life. As creepy as this is going to sound, I know you know this. Have you ever heard of the comic book Crossed?
No.
So it's a virus, and when you get it, you get like a wound on your face that's in the shape of a cross. It goes down your forehead and under your eyes. So that's how you know the crossed are around. And basically, it makes you a complete fuck, kill, destroy machine.
Okay.
And early in the series, it looks like the Crossed are completely mindless. But as time goes on, you start to realize they know everything they used to know. They're just bananas crazy.
All impulse. All
It's just fuck, kill, destroy.
Yeah.
So they will go set off the nuclear reactor and like laugh hysterically while they're blowing up.
Right.
You know? So the thing about Crossed, as horrifying as it is, there's always the idea that there are people who have banded together who are against people that have gone crazy. That to me, I don't know if that makes sense, but that to me is less scary than the dead coming back to life or like complete no justice Mad Max. It's like, we all know how we used to behave.
Right.
We can just build walls and protect ourselves from what's going on out there.
Right, but like no robot apocalypse. Like the Matrix happens, right? You're hooked up to the machines, or like you're outside the machine.
The Matrix ain't that fucking bad. If you're in the Matrix, you're fine.
You're taking a nap. You don't know what's happening.
You're living life. You're married with kids. You got a dog.
That's still a nuclear apocalypse.
Sleeping in goo. You don't know what's up. You're fine.
Yeah, you have no idea that you're not in the Matrix when you're in the Matrix.
Okay, but even
you're fine.
You're outside of the Matrix itself. You're living in Zion. Right.
Yeah, but now I'm a freedom fighter, and that just sounds exhausting.
It does. Preach.
I don't want to devote myself to being the guy. Dude, I used to do comedy. I have a comedian brain. I'm not helping people.
Yeah, but that just makes you like the funny guy on the ship.
We're not the one.
Right, yeah, you're not the one, but you're the guy who's watching Neo fly through the Matrix, and you're like, boy, those are some fast fingers or some stupid bullshit. And then everyone kind of pauses. They sort of laugh because that's the only humor left in existence. And then they move on with their day. Like,
I literally got a job that way one time. I worked at Blockbuster Movies when I was, I don't know, let's say 17
like, is that,
or something. 16. I'm older than my baby face looks. But I got hired there because I used to go in and give shit to the store manager all the time. And then I was like, oh, I need a summer job. And he went, I'll hire you just for comic relief. All you're going to do is work on the shifts I work and just make me laugh. And I was like, okay.
Right.
And delete my friends' late fees, which I then realized they track. But that was
they're tracking it to this day.
In this dystopian world, I love that there's still that idea of you can just be hired because you're funny exists. You amuse me, stick around.
I like the notion now, like post-apocalyptic future, crawling through the rubbles of like New York, bomb blasts everywhere, some guy getting hunted down. Hunter takes a shot in his leg, pulls the mask off, and goes, "You owe Blockbuster $5.95."
And then like whips across his face. And, you know, he's got real chapped lips and hard lines around his eyes.
Just checking off people's late fees one at a time.
Right behind Columbia House pulls right up. Like, also, you owe us for those CDs.
He talks like this.
Right.
You owe Blockbuster $15.99.
For like something really simple, like Tootsie Goes to the amusement park or something.
I have a friend, he claims, he's a bit of an exaggerator, but he claims that he was filling out an application, he was like 17, and he didn't want to be there, he didn't want to fill out the application, so one of the questions was something to the effect of like, what brings you to apply for such and such? And he wrote Destiny. And he said that when the guy got it, the guy came around the corner and said, I would hire you right now just because of that. He said, but there was like some technicality. They found out later he had to be 18. It was something like that.
Right.
That was the reason why he didn't get hired. But the manager was like, because you wrote that, I want you here.
As a manager, I hired somebody purely based on their resume because I was assistant manager at the time. My manager handed me a resume. Like, what do you think about this one? And all it said at the top, his name was Jesus Arambula, is his name. But he didn't put his last name on the resume. So literally all it said was Jesus. And I was like,
are you going to be the guy who turns down Jesus?
I feel like this is a test. So we're probably hiring him because What if?
Right.
What if?
We do know he's coming back.
So, do I want to be that guy?
Right. Accept me into your heart and into your office.
Right? I was like, I saw no last name. I was like, well, he's got a job. Good job for him.
I mean, look, Jesus said he would come back in like manner. So, beyond that, when you get into the rapture and stuff, that's really church specific. Some churches buy that. But so like manner means he comes back down from the sky, he lands, and now he's like, well, I guess I got to get a job or something.
I mean,
He's like, I don't have a like technical degree for carpentry. So.
so I noticed it's been 2,000 years since your last job. Can you tell me
2020 years?
So 2020 years since your last job. Can you tell me why?
Well, I've been sitting by the right hand of my father.
Hey.
Oh, so you still live at home with your dad. Okay, real cute.
I think we have a bit, boys.
Real millennial. All right.
You know,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say there's only one thing that I ever have wanted to do in like an apocalypse movie, right? And every time I watch people,
Lots of raping.
no, that's
Murder.
really fucking specific to you, Allan. Now, every time I see an apocalypse movie, you always see people. There's always a scene where like people are worshiping the old thing, right? And so it's like, oh, we're worshiping this unexploded atom bomb, or like we're like, oh, these are statues of the minions, and we think they're old deities or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm. And they are.
Right. But I always look at that scene, I'm like, I would love to shoot a movie where you have a bunch of people, right? The hero shows up and he's like, I need to find out where the source of the water is, right? And they're like, well, we shall ask our all-knowing oracle. And then they turn around and they go, hey, Google.
I think I've seen before a apocalyptic story where they all worshipped like the Furby or something.
Right.
I don't know where I saw that. I know I've seen that before.
Yeah, well, because like
In
people...
a prophecy, maybe? Is that where you saw that?
that it's going to happen now. Alan's just gonna like have this moment where he just starts stripping off, wraps a bat towel around himself, and thus the word of our Lord spoke.
All right, we're at about 23 minutes. We're going to move right into one of our ongoing segments called Hey Rafiq, what's making you miserable this week?
Alright, so...
And Jeff comes up like he's getting a grandpa story time.
So the thing that has been making me miserable this week, I kind of mentioned it before you turned on the recording, but it's making me so annoyed that the rich fundamentally view us as so expendable.
Right. I thought you were going to reference this UFO thing.
Oh no, I'm getting to that.
Okay,
Let me let me bring the story all the way around.
He means rich aliens. He'll get there. Okay.
No, right.
The lizard people.
Right.
Okay.
Well, because the way I was going to go is because for the listener at home, I went on a Tinder date before the apocalypse, and when I came out from the movies, there was this note clearly written by a crazy person on the back of my car. It's like shorter than a manifesto. It's not a leaflet, but it's not like a pamphlet either.
I mean, I'm looking at it. It's front and back with very small font.
I'm going to say that's an 8-point or 10-point font. That is lower than regular font.
Right, like it's...
There's plenty of crazy to go around on that.
Right, and so when I saw this, my first thing is like, man, I wish we had more mental health services that help this poor person out. Right, because I don't go, okay, believing in aliens makes you crazy. I go printing up literature and taping them to car windows while people are in a movie theater because there's a viral pandemic happening. I go, I think you're kind of crazy.
Kind of? You are
kind of.
generous.
Yes, I am.
So tell us a little bit about this newfound information you've been given.
So, coming out, right? Me and the date holding hands, like, hey, let's go get drinks or whatever, right? On the back of my car is this that says, quote, destruction caused by UFOs. Already a bold statement because it doesn't lead into destruction caused by UFOs. It's not like there were 12 other pages taped there and they blew away. It's just letting you know, hey, this might be caused by UFOs. And this person goes into this whole thing by saying the following is based on a book, so not even their own words.
Okay.
Starting
Well,
off.
that's how you know you can believe it. He cited
Right.
his sources.
It's been written twice now. This is 2 different people writing about this now.
Based on the UFO book, What on Earth is Happening, published in 1976 by Bantam Books, authored by John Weldon with Zorla Levitt. Right? Goes into this whole thing about how some of us believe we've been contacted by UFOs, and what the literature about that indicates, where the major incidences have occurred, like another major incident happened on an Air Force base of a C-118 transport plane that was hit by an object. Plane was crashed, killed, pilot, da-da-da.
So what's this person's overall point?
This person's overall point, when you get to...
Oh, there's a back page.
Right. This person's overall point is that the virus that might be going around may be part of closing comments on alien involvement in human affairs. Right? Simply by the unreasonable belief that researchers have that they've never seen a UFO before.
Completely unreasonable.
Right? Most of us ignore their involvement in human affairs, such as hidden political agendas, such as political gay rights and abortion.
Oh, no.
Viral incidents, spiritual or financial profits, and the promotion of UFOs as benevolent beings.
What the fuck is a spiritual prophet?
I don't know.
I was wondering the same
I was
thing.
so poor spiritually. And then I won the spiritual lotto, and now I have spiritual profits.
I am going to sell spiritual scratch-offs to make financial
Right.
profits.
Really.
You hit the jackpot, you get into heaven.
Just sell them to this guy. And we, by the way, we all know it's a guy.
We all know it.
Right, yeah.
Guy.
That's true. You never see like a crazy conspiracist that's like a woman. Like, right? Like, there's never like a hot chick going around being like,
Well, is there ever a hot dude going
yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, that would
He's
be a great...
equally unfuckable. Let's be honest.
I'm just saying, like, you never see, like, a beautiful person, like, like in the movies, being like, oh, man, I'd love to help you fight the aliens because
Wasn't Mel
I'm...
Gibson in some kind of crazy conspiracy movie where he was a crazy guy?
Conspiracy
I think
theorist?
yes,
Yeah, I mean,
conspiracy theory.
yes.
But
He's
in that
pretty
movie, he was also proven to be right. So not crazy.
Oh, good point.
Vindicated.
Good point.
Attractive people get vindicated. Crazy people never do.
Sure.
My whole point is, like, I saw this, right, on the back of my car, and I'm like, this person is so crazy, right? And then, for some reason, it just made me sad because I was like, you know, this person probably needs legitimate mental health. But, like, they're never going to get it, all right? Because we're not paying into, like, healthcare systems. We're not paying into infrastructure. Because even if you're not going to give this person, like, actual mental health, give him, like, a decent job where he's busy all the time and doesn't have the time to write this shit up.
No,
Right.
you know he's bringing the aliens with him into the job. He can't.
He
Yeah.
is printed at his job.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he goes from that weirdo that's taping them to cars to the guy who's, like, at the water cooler and you're like, oh, yeah, man, you watched Game of Thrones last night? He's like, nah, man, the aliens are trying to get in my house. And you're like, all right, cool. So in last episode...
Right. Fair enough.
I don't know. It's just with everything going on, like, especially with all the layoffs happening and shit like that, where, it's very clear that, like, the job where I work, they were they were planning to stay open throughout this entire pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the press got so bad for them staying open because now I can't confirm or deny this, but supposedly somebody went to another portion of my job who had the COVID-19, got sick and died,
Whoa.
and they still didn't close that portion of the job.
Wow.
Right? So people started pointing, being like, are you letting sick people into your building and potentially affecting hundreds of people?
Right.
And still staying open? And then my bosses were like, we plan to close for 2 weeks for deep cleaning. Like,
Yeah,
Not us.
yeah.
It's a real hard time right now with that because it is that people want to keep working and have money coming in, but at the same time, on certain places, which, when the jobs include gatherings of people type thing, it becomes by staying open, are you creating the health risk? Are
you creating more
so
zombies?
Then it's a no-win scenario on there.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but I have the kind of job where, if the zombie apocalypse actually were happening, they would have been like, well, how many people are getting bit?
Let's hear it out.
Right? Okay, so Mr. McGillicuddy is always a little toothy.
We can keep the zombies out. If a zombie comes in, we will politely tell them you're not welcome.
And it's just so weird because the entire time I'm looking at that situation, there's part of my brain that goes this is just because somebody so far up the chain is getting paid a couple $1 million a year to make sure that this keeps on running.
I heard a story today, and I have not fact-checked it at all, so let me say it like it's pure facts.
It's definitely going to happen.
So I pretty much, somebody read a headline and told it to me, so this is facts, is that, I don't know where misinformation comes from. I don't understand those words. So apparently Hobby Lobby's staying open. Because the owner...
I know this. I read the headline.
Who is worth $10 billion or something, and could afford to close and keep his employees paid for a little while. His wife has started a prayer chain, and therefore everybody's safe.
Right.
So let's keep it open. But what essentials, are
the
you leaving
headline
and
I
being I need to go to Hobby Lobby?
The headline, yeah.
Well, you know what my hobby is? Getting sick.
The headline I read, again, just read the headline, didn't read the article, but the headline I read was that she had got a message from God.
She'd got an email.
Yeah, she got a message from God that no one at Hobby Lobby was going to get sick. So they're fine. They're
good.
They're good.
That I believe to be, let's call it irresponsible. If any of that is a shred of truth, I feel like there's better way. Now, there are some good instances that are happening in this dire apocalypse that's leading to a dystopian utopia, let's hope.
Dystopian utopia.
I feel like dystopian utopia is not used enough. I feel like there can be good at the end of all of this.
Yeah, we suspended constitutional rights, but we got cancer to 0. So,
see? There could be pluses.
Yeah, we just murdered everyone with cancer, but we still got it to 0.
Hearing you say that about priorities in Hobby Lobby, maybe a month ago, I was at a Party City. And I was with my fiance and she was getting the thing, whatever the fucking thing was. And I had this moment of looking around I can look at this store in two ways. I can look at it and isn't it awful that we use all these resources to have a giant store? Or I can go, how fucking lucky are we?
Right.
That we have a giant store and there's an entire aisle of just plastic stupid party spoons, But I do think that this could be kind of an equalizer situation where we start losing the Hobby Lobbies and the Party Cities and start maybe stripping shit back down to some kind of reasonable, these are the things we definitely want.
Party City's still open though, right?
Probably.
I mean,
because who's not having COVID parties right now?
I do need to get some supplies when I leave here. Yeah. Captain America plates, a Mylar balloon. Mm-hmm. I only know one place to get them.
Yeah. Where the hell else are you going to go?
Those are essentials. That's all I do is wipe my ass with Mylar balloons right now. They're cheaper and easier to find.
My idiot-ass neighbors last night were having one of their idiot-ass, loud-ass parties with the whole family. Mm-hmm. And I got home late. I've been either at my place or at my fiance's, and that's it. I maybe went and got something to eat one day, but even then, it was I was looking around. Well, it's late, and I'm thinking about the type of food. Oh, it's probably fried, what was my point? Oh, I come in late, and their party's going, and I gotta let the dog out. So literally, I just let him wander over there to go pee. Usually, I stay right by his side, but I just was I'm staying right here. You go pee and do whatever you gotta do. Come back to me. I'm not going over there. It's amazing.
I don't know. It's what you're talking about with the whole Hobby Lobby thing, where it's he can afford to stay open, or he can afford to close down and still pay his employees. And I look at that and I go, Like, nobody, like, I'm not saying we've hit that point, but, like, nobody's going, like, hey, by the way, before we get to that point, let's all go buy some torches and pitchforks over at Home Depot, just in case we want to, I don't know, hold, like, an impromptu parade down to somebody's house and, you know, like, make our demands now, you know.
Because there are, like, Disney closed, but Disney is paying all of its employees while they're closed. Which is A, they can. They're Disney.
Right.
They have enough. But B, it's smart on them because when they reopen, they need all of those employees back because it's a massive operation. So instead of having to train new people and hire new people, it's you keep that staff. And when you are that big of a corporation, I think that's a very... And I don't know that they're getting paid 100%. The reality is I know some friends that are hotel managers and so on that... they've been reduced down to 80%, so they can keep their job and their salary, but it's a percentage, you know, off, and they're working less and so on, and that type of thing. But so there are, you know, and I get reality. Disney's probably an evil corporation at the end of the day, but there are corporations that are doing the right thing.
Right. I'm just saying, like, if you are going to be the evil corporation in this moment, instead of pressing all the way down on somebody's neck, maybe you can afford to just let it up a little bit, like a little itty bitty bit.
In his defense, Jesus emailed, so they're fine. They're totally fine.
Told them that they were going to be fine.
He was like, by the way, you hating gay rights, we're going to talk about that later. That's a follow-up email. But
put a pin in it. We're going to come back to that. But in the meantime, you're going to make it through the apocalypse. You're fine.
I never said that shit. All four of the Gospels never said anything about it, guys.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if he just hated figs the whole time?
No.
Like he's growing up and he's like, I don't want to eat figs again. And somebody heard, what? He hates figs? All right,
He did curse that fig tree one time.
See? And then from then on, my people have suffered. Okay?
It's true. It is true.
Translating's hard.
Words are hard. My fiance got email very similar to what it was, like one of those things where a friend of hers found it, took a picture of it and sent it to her, but it was like this completely insane, it like started almost normal, like things that are probably true about, like, China had this information for X amount of time, blah blah blah, and then it just starts making these super wild accusations with, like, absolutely no evidence whatsoever. It's like, you're going to hear about all these celebrities who have COVID, but they aren't really sick. They're actually being arrested because it's a huge child pornography. Like, what the fuck? Like, Tom Hanks...
We took a twist.
One of the sentences was, Tom Hanks is being held for pedophilia, or something like that. But then the very next sentence, or maybe even a run-on sentence, the very next thing it said was, he's in a hotel in Australia and refuses to leave. So is he being held? Or is he in a hotel in Australia? What are you talking about?
Well, obviously the aliens are protecting him. That's
Right.
part of their pact with the aliens.
Do they fuel their ships via child molestation? Is that the problem?
I feel like that's probably the most sound reasoning I've ever heard of anything in my life.
It's kind of like a Monsters Incorporated thing, where every time you molest a kid,
it fills up a tube.
They're going to feel so silly when they realize laughter works better. Oh my god, watch the movie Aliens. You guys are going to be embarrassed.
Egg on your face.
I like the idea of, like,
I just realized what I said.
Right.
Go ahead.
I like the idea of, like, all those anal probes now are not because they're trying to figure out, is because they just keep on thinking huge size humans are just giant size kids.
Big child, fuel ship.
It's like, oh my goodness, this child's like 6'2". Like,
That's horribly hilarious.
we'll be running for weeks.
That's great.
I did in fun conspiracy news, and I'll get some of these facts wrong because that's what I do.
Oh, really? Facts? Conspiracy news and facts. You're going to get some of them wrong?
But there was, so apparently he was telling me that there's I don't know if you've read this or heard this, there's a Dean Koontz book out there.
Okay.
Written in like 1993, let's say. Again, facts. Who cares?
Right.
And so in it, though, I forget the name of the book, obviously. I'll make it up. It's called Animal House. That's not it. And there's a virus in there called the Hunan 400, and it's the 400th strain that they developed in China in a R&D facility.
Okay.
And it got unleashed in the world, or it will be in the book, unleashed in the world in 2020.
Oh, God.
All in the book. And then it will go away as quick as it came, and then be back in 3 years, and then go away again as quick as it came. So the good news is
That's right.
we're going through it again, people. This is a dry run.
Well, hopefully we'll be prepared next time.
But
Right.
very weird that, I mean, so he told me that, and I said, that's fascinating, and much more terrifying than the fact that I heard the same day that the protagonist in Tangled was quarantined in her castle in the kingdom of Corona.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was also apropos, but his seemed a lot more scary than mine. So
You know what's fucked up though is like conspiracy theorists are going like, yeah, look at all this nonsense, and I'm like, you guys heard the very real thing of white nationalists proposing to weaponize COVID on black communities, right? Because we're not talking about that, and I feel like that's a real word. Like you can reach out and find these people, like. But no, let's talk about how Tangled is much more.
So that poor guy at YouTube is like, Tangled conspiracy, go.
Yeah, right.
White nationalist, oh my god, your manifesto, I can't watch this anymore. Why is there a penis gun in there? I don't know what's happening.
I think I've said this on this podcast before, but for me, it's always, I'm with you until you can't answer why.
Right.
So, like, you show me all the Illuminati imagery in Snow White. Okay, fine. Snow White is an Illuminati movie. Why? Why did they put all that Illuminati shit in there so you could fucking figure it out? What was the end game? What did they get from that?
I've always wanted to run a con that was just like, oh, hey, I'm a member of the Illuminati, and I propose to give you all of our secrets in exchange for real-world money. So if you would like to know who killed JFK, please just send me $100 check, and I will let you know who killed JFK.
Did I ever tell you, I don't know if I said it on this podcast or if I ever said it to you, the time I ran into some Masons?
No.
This is some crazy shit, man.
Yeah.
This has really happened exactly the way. I used to go to this place called Cigar Castle. I lived right next door to it. It was my favorite bar. And there was a Mason place, Mason Lodge, further up the road. So one night I'm in there.
Oh, it's like down the block from here.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
One night I'm in there chilling, and the place is like suddenly full of dudes wearing fezzes, right? White button-up shirts, fezzes.
You felt ridiculous.
I felt ridiculous.
You left yours at home. How dare you?
Exactly. So, X amount of time goes by. I was still teaching at the time. I go there on a Sunday morning to drink a beer and grade papers. I'm sitting across from these guys, and I'm trying to figure out how I know them. Like, I fucking know that guy's face. And then I realized, oh, he's one of the Masons that was here the other day. So at some point, for whatever reason, one of them was trying to come up with the name for that. What's that Mexican god? He starts with a Q, and I overheard it, and I just kind of went, Quetzalcoatl. And he was like, oh, yeah, thanks, man. And then I was like, all right, I'm not going to keep bothering them. That's obnoxious, right? So time goes by, they leave. One of them kind of staggers over to me, and he's doing that we're buddies drunk close talking. And he's like, hey, you ever watch any of those, like, Secrets of the Masons? And I'm like, no. He goes, well, you just heard all Secrets of the Masons. And I said, you know what? Honestly, the only thing I heard, one of you told the other guy that if you ever get stuck in a sermon, just start saying amen. And I swear to God, he laughed and he went, no one will come after you for that. And just walked off. No one will come after you for that. And fucked off.
I'm so fascinated in what's the story that brought up the Mexican god
Right.
Quizno.
The Mexican god Quiznos. The Mexican god of submarine sandwiches.
Toasted submarine sandwiches, thank you. Where does that, first of all, the fact that you just had it. Second
Well,
of all,
yeah.
how does it just come up in conversation? What conversation is just like, oh yeah, so anyway, remember how we were praying to this deity? Have
Hold
you
the
ever
fuck on.
thought about?
Don't you hang out with comics.
Right.
In 5 minutes, something bizarre is going to come out of one of the three
It
people.
always ends in a blowjob suggestion. Now, mind you, were they talking about blowing the Mexican god?
Possible.
Quasimodo, because that is... I have no idea what the name... What was the name?
Quetzalcoatl.
Still don't know it. Got it. All right.
He's like a feathered serpent or something
Yeah.
like that.
Obviously.
It basically,
Obviously.
yeah.
Obviously.
And think of a Chinese dragon except wings and feathers.
Yeah, got it. Got it.
Yeah, so they were talking. Look, we were talking about Ghost Dog versus Ghost Science.
Right, yeah.
so don't get all judgy.
Don't get all judgy. That's all fair. That's all fair.
Weird fun fact. So I've always found this a little bit funny, just because it is a weird form of racism. But like, my uncle is a Mason, but like, for black Masons, they have their own separate lodge
Well, yeah.
called like Prince's Lodges. So I go like, wait a minute, secret masters of the universe, but you still can't overcome
There's
racism.
still segregation.
Right, yeah.
Secret masters over certain parts.
Right.
It's what they're allowed to be masters of.
I'm just saying, someone out there is praying to Cthulhu, and meanwhile in the Prince's Lodge, they're praying to Black Cthulhu. Like that's
I was trying to think of a way to thug up the name Cthulhu, and I couldn't come up with anything good.
Do we want to do this before we do the CD? Or?
It depends on if you want people reaching their COVID hands into that box.
I don't give a shit.
All right, we can do that.
So, Jeff, this is your first time on the podcast, hopefully not the last, but we have been playing a little game. Basically, I went on the website Wish.
Time out. Is Wish a Japanese or a Chinese company?
It is a
I'm
Chinese
actually getting a
company.
little concerned now.
So this
I
gets
don't want to
worse.
fuck with this. we can go. Let's just all say we're going to put our hands in a box
Right.
with shit that came from China. Is everyone okay with doing that?
I mean, I'm okay with remembering not to touch my face afterwards
right.
and washing my hands before I do
All
anything.
right.
So, around November, right, found I had an extra $100, right, kept on seeing ads for the website Wish, decided, you know what, let's fuck with you, right? So I got drunk and ordered a shit ton of things off of Wish, and I have no idea what any of them are.
Perfect.
They have just been showing up to my house. Sometimes it's the item in the box, sometimes it's a completely different item, but regardless, we've been playing a fun little game on the show called What Is Your Wish? So, Jeff Klein, if you want to reach inside here.
I do want to qualify, on the side of this box that you have set up for said game, it says organic hummus. And if I reach in there and it's just loose hummus in there,
There's not a prank. There's no
No.
like.
I'm going to be ecstatic.
So here's
I love hummus.
Here are the rules. You're gonna reach in there. You're gonna find a package. Rafiq is
Been
gonna
there.
Yeah. Who among us has?
That's a band there. Go on.
Rafiq is gonna give you clues.
Got it.
If you guess what is in the package, you get to have it.
Okay.
If you do not guess, you can choose to buy it for
Like
no
$2.
more than $2.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you choose not to buy it, you have to open it and see what you did not receive.
That all seems fair.
That all
Right.
seems
All
fair.
right.
All right.
So I'm reaching in and I'm pulling out said package.
Yes.
Yep.
Got it. Reaching into COVID, pulling out COVID.
Yeah. Lots of COVID in there.
Right.
Excited? I got a package here.
I am sincerely uncomfortable with all of this.
All right. We're trying to limit it to one hand.
Yeah, good call.
There we go. All right. A.
Alright, so you can reach around, feel with it, whatever makes you comfortable.
Reach around, fiddle with it.
I mean,
you're gonna.
been there.
I mean,
This feels
are
really
you trying
geared
at
towards me.
this point?
So, all right. So it feels obvious to me.
Right.
Is it? Are they not obvious?
Again,
Do I? How many
We-
guesses do I get?
We have opened, the last time we played this, we opened an object that no one in the room could identify what the fuck this
Right.
thing was.
That's fair.
yeah, we'll say you get 3 guesses.
I think you had so many clues. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
we've
Let's
been
do
doing
clues.
3 clues. So, first clue, you can draw, with me you can draw a conclusion. Without me, you may draw a blank.
Yeah. So it feels like a pen, and that seems like a clue for a pen.
Alright.
So I feel like I'm going with pen.
All right, is that your final answer?
Now you have final answers. You said
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
gonna
you
I get three final answers?
No.
You're not using the word final correctly.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying, if that's what you want to go with, we can open it right now and see. if
Let's
that's
hear
the
clue
case.
number 2.
Clue number 2. Permanence is what I'm known for.
Again, feels like a pen,
Yeah.
now possibly a marker.
Yeah,
Alright.
that's what I'm going with.
There's a delineation between the two in your mind?
Not. I mean, for
A
me
writing
personally,
thing.
yeah.
If I just go
A
generic.
writing implement.
All right, you want third hit?
Yeah?
Mightier than axe, bow, or shield.
Okay, so it's a pen.
Probably.
I also vote pen.
So I'm going to go with pen.
All right, so.
All right, so now I open. Wait.
And now you release the COVID into the air
Yes.
via the package.
Got it.
Yep.
All right. Their gifts are horrible, but their packaging is fantastic. They really seal in the COVID.
Yeah, well, you don't want to let that shit just get haphazardly.
It is a pen.
Ben, yes.
Is there anything special about this
So,
pen?
my understanding is that this.
Please be laser darts.
Whoa! You say laser darts and he points it at me.
Holy shit! I
a
was
knife.
very close.
It's a knife! It's not a pen at all!
Knife pen.
It's a knife pen.
Oh man, so funny how I bring up a penis knife earlier and I finish with a
So,
pen knife.
people
So
at
close.
home listening to this, the front of it is a pen with an ink ballpoint coming out. You unscrew the back, and there's a goddamn knife. But it wasn't. Did you reveal it just by unscrewing it?
You just pull.
Okay, I thought it was
Because,
maybe,
no, in
I
a
thought it was
pinch.
retracted
Right.
at first.
Yeah, when you're writing your thesis
right,
and somebody disproves you, you need to cut a bitch quick.
right. You gotta.
So any type of safety lock on this would be ridiculous
Sure.
Right.
because bitches need to die.
I mean,
Yes.
it's a knife.
Obviously.
You can use it for all sorts of things. Opening letters,
Stabbing
cutting
bitches.
cutting
Stabbing
paper,
bitches.
stabbing bitches.
Cutting a mofo.
I mean, options is what we're
Right.
saying.
You just need to be as flexible as that knife blade is, because I assume that is a very cheap knife.
Probably.
So there we go, Jeff. That's your win.
Hey!
That's how we pay you for being.
Right.
It's fantastic. Diseases and knives. I can kill myself when I get it. Thank you.
Well, we wanted to make sure that if you cut yourself, the COVID got directly into your
Beautiful. Well
bloodstream.
thought out. Well thought out.
Well, in the time we have left, we've been having a good time here, and it's time for that to end. I don't know how familiar you are with anything we do in this room, but I like to think of him as a mascot. He's a guy who's been with us since the beginning.
You could say he's our spiritual guru.
He's this guy. And I just want to watch your face fall and your spirit crumble.
He has such a likable smile.
He does.
And every single one of his wrinkles is located on either side of his eyes.
Yes.
They're all centrally located.
He's a very happy guy.
Yes.
He is, of course, Ed the Machine Regine, telling you 100 of the funniest jokes he's ever heard. Why don't you give that sumbitch an open? I'm trying to go through this quickly because we
super
spend
excited
a
about
lot
it.
of time doing this but we have to introduce this to everybody. You'll see.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's 100 jokes. The vast majority of those are out of order. They will not correspond with. We are pretty sure that number 25 was supposed to end the disc completely because it started with wacky music, and then on 25 there was wacky music. So unless he's doing it on every 25th one, we have not listened to all these. We listened to these with our guests for the first time.
I'm excited about it.
You shouldn't be. Any joy that you've experienced up to this point, just don't have any more, because you won't.
This is my new set list. I'm going to write jokes around all of these.
Yes.
Right.
So tell us what 42 is supposed to be.
42 is supposed to be debutante.
I think we already heard debutante.
Maybe.
We maybe
So we kind of had a weird thing with Ed where, like, he's been getting several of these right in a row.
Yeah, but then he
But-
falls. It doesn't
but
take
the-
long for him to
yeah.
fall right back off. All right, 42. And remember, to the people listening, we are broadcasting in the future. So the next episode we'll be back on number 30 or whatever it was. So 42, debutante.
A debutante arrives at the ball and is met by her butler, Jeeves. And she says, "Jeeves, please take off my dress." And Jeeves says, "Yes, madam." And the debutante says, "Jeeves, please take off my bra." And Jeeves says, "Yes, madam." And the debutante says, "Jeeves, take off my panties." And Jeeves says, "Yes, madam." And then the debutante says, "Now, Jeeves," he said, "Yes, madam. If I catch you wearing my clothes again, you're fired."
Hey-o!
Hey.
I get it. I got it, too.
I get it.
Yeah,
It sounded sexy, as if he was going to have sex with her. But it was because he was wearing the clothes.
Right. Which I really have to kind of fall in the plight of the worker here, because how little is he getting paid that he can't afford his own set of bra and panties?
Fair point.
Well, his pay got cut with COVID. He can't afford his own underwear anymore.
My favorite part about Ed the Machine Regine, other than that name, is his dynamic ability to deliver a joke. Mm-hmm. The levels in each bit I found so far, of the one I've heard, I think really...
Layers.
Yes. You buy into the excitement that he's selling. He sounds like if Hobby Lobby was a comic. That's what it would sound like.
Right. I guarantee you that Jesus approves of this
Just
joke.
that level right there.
Oh, God.
Somewhere between bored excitement and dull thrill.
And every single goddamn joke is, so this guy,
Right.
so this debutante, so this cab driver.
I can't wait to hear soft boobs.
Which one is that?
Spoiler alert. It's
Is that
32
43?
coming up soon.
43?
No, 32.
Well, when
yeah,
you go
yeah.
back and listen to that
Yeah.
episode. Yeah, I'm certain it's not about soft boobs. That actually might be the one that went out blank. There was one that as we were doing it, the sound cut out, and we don't know if it was because it got ripped wrong or if because Ed ripped it up so bad because we're not playing on the CD, we're playing on ripped files. Tell us 43. Let's go ahead and just get this over with.
43 is, listen close to, Boss Falls Asleep.
Boss.
A boss and his secretary go
Hey.
for a 2-martini lunch and end up back at her place. After
Wait,
wild
did he give
sex,
away the
they fall
punchline?
asleep.
Oh, there it is.
The boss wakes up and realizes he's very late, so he goes outside and he rubs dirt and grass all over his clothes. And as he's driving home, he feels guilty, and he decides to tell his wife the truth. He gets home and his wife is standing there, and he says, "Honey, I'm not going to lie to you. I went to lunch with my secretary, we had a couple of martinis, and we ended up having wild sex, and I'm really sorry." She took one look at him and said, "You lying bastard, look at you. You've been golfing again."
She's more upset about golf than cheating.
What-
That's
what
what that
did-
joke's about.
So where did he fall asleep?
He didn't even say earlier that they'd had sex.
Yeah, like I
He
feel-
just said that he had too many drinks and fell asleep.
Right, yeah, unless we talked over the sex part, but like,
Which we could have, because it is an Ed joke.
right, but like that's
He really likes to stretch out the details that you
right,
told me.
right.
Boss and his secretary had too many martinis. They were in the stemless martini.
Yeah.
The one that you get from the, the
Yeah.
Libel collection.
And then they had sex and fell asleep. So,
That's actually what I was like. And then he went home to his wife on 32 Chestnut Road.
he was going a few miles over the hour, but, it was fine.
She's 5'8". I'm 7 at best. She has some makeup on that day. And then
He's got a nice house, recently purchased, financed, a 30-year mortgage. It's very nice.
he's the Steinbeck of telling jokes. We get it, the details.
The
Well-
worst part, though, Steinbeck actually has a purpose for those details.
I hate
and
every
is-
Steinbeck book because it's all way too many details. I don't need to hear the lineage of the canoe. Just tell me it's a fucking canoe. Let's move on. John Steinbeck and I do not get along.
Is he Catcher in the Rye? Who's Steinbeck?
An American author? I don't know what he's done.
I
I,
can't
hate,
think- is
I
it-
hate his
I
books.
I think it is Catch-22 and
Catch-22. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, as usual, we're on a down note because we just listened to Ed.
Right.
And
Thanks, Ed.
And thanks, Ed. It's been an hour. I'm about to piss my pants, so I think we're good to go. Gentlemen, Don't get COVID.
Right.
All right.
Is there any social media where we can find you at, Jeff?
Yeah, best way is just find me on Instagram, that Jeff is funny. I'm on Twitter, and I do it horribly. I have dozens of followers, though. Be one of those. And then I have a YouTube channel, but that's going to be changed over to that Jeff is funny soon. So find me on those. On Instagram, you see a bunch of pictures of my cats and dogs. What else do you want to see on the
Oh, and I am going to release this one either tonight or tomorrow. All things.
Perfect.
So if you have something you can promote, hit us.
Immediately.
The end of the world.
The end of the world. Right. What am I talking about?
I'll be doing a Type 5 at the end of the world.
Yeah, I don't know what I...
Oh my goodness! So you just made me realize how shitty is that apocalypse gonna be? The rapture's happening, the Earth's opening up, Satan's coming out. You're just gonna see dozens upon dozens of comics just trying to do their Type 5 all at the same time.
It's going to be amazing.
It's like, well, we're all dying anyway, and these are all the jokes I always wanted to say but never could.
Ed the Machine regime's going to be crushing it.
He's the only person over the age of 65 who's immune to COVID.
This old dog goes to heaven.
Oh, yes! Fall back. Yes! That's the best way to end it. All right, that was it, boys. Thanks for coming. Everybody be safe. Don't get COVID.
So how about this?
So how about this?